Welcome back, beautiful people. This is going to be the UFC full card prediction, breakdown, and more for UFC Fight Night Tatsuro Taira, not versus Amir Albazi. As you can see on the screen here is now Hyung Sung Park, and we'll get to that matchup and break down it. And listen, I know you know who I'm talking to in the comments here. Timestamps have been an issue for people in the past. There will be timestamps on this video after it has been released. I'll punch those in, so you guys can chill on that one. Let's get into the first fight of the night, that being Piera Rodriguez taking on Ketlen Souza. This is a matchup that initially going into it, I thought about targeting the dog. On the surface level here, before going back into tape study, I thought Ketlen Souza, I know she got that club and sub of Yasmin Jauregui, and put up a competitive showing there against Angela Hill. You could have showcased that Ketlen Souza, competed with the top of the division here. Then I go back and I rewatch Piera Rodriguez, and this chick is nasty, man. I mean, she's a 10-2 fighter here. It says she's more or less undefeated, and what I mean by that is the more or less part is her last fight was a DQ loss where she headbutted Ariane Cornolle, which is a damn shame because she was on her way to absolutely dusting Ariane Cornolle easily. She went out there and was putting a beating on her, unnecessarily threw a headbutt there, and I do believe it was a headbutt thrown. I don't think it was a missed call from the referee, and that led to the disqualification happening and a loss on her record. Before then, a tap / not a tap against Jillian Robertson. So two back-to-back very disappointing performances for Piera Rodriguez, a girl who obviously is looking to make a run in this women's strawweight division. Now she gets matched up against Ketlen Souza, a girl who I know will not be taking no disqualification win, because she's tough and is not going to rest on her laurels, and also somebody that is going to bring the fight to Piera Rodriguez here. I think this is Piera Rodriguez all day. She's a minus 200 favorite here, 2-1 favorite, and I think that it is absolutely justified. I've gone ahead and placed a rather large, multi-unit bet on Piera Rodriguez because after watching the tape here, I think she's going to come in here hungrier than ever. I know she's getting in good work in the training room, most recently posting pictures up with Veronica Hardy and Dan Hardy there. She gets in good work in the training room. She comes out here. She is aggressive. She looks to get it back. She has shown that she is not vulnerable to strikes so far throughout her career. And I think that she's just going to be the overall better athlete here. And that's besides the fact that Ketlen Souza, does struggle sometimes with the takedown defense. So Piera Rodriguez, all in all, probably top 3 favorites on this card, especially for the price. And, even though this is a women's fight, I think it's a banger fight, and I'm actually excited for it to be opening up the card. Moving up on the list here, we have Rafael Estevam taking on Felipe Bunes, and this is a matchup that, on the surface, I started looking into and I go, Estevam, pretty big favorite, kind of makes sense. You start looking into it. Felipe Bunes, man, 35 years old in the flyweight division. This guy's 14-7 record here. He's taking on Rafael Estevam. On paper, 13-0. Obviously, it makes sense, but what I'm more impressed about is that Rafael Estevam has been matched up with Charles Johnson, Jesus Aguilar, passing both of those tests respectively, and then coming in here against Felipe Bunes. This is going to be like a breath of fresh air. I think that this is a very winnable matchup here for Rafael Estevam. I think he's going to look his price here. He's a big favorite, but I've got action on him. I think he can win this fight by just staying on top, staying safe, but I could also see him notching his first UFC finish victory here against Felipe Bunes, because we've seen Felipe Bunes, susceptible to damage from strikes from Joshua Van. We've seen him be submitted in the past, by Jussier Formiga. So, Rafael Estevam here has passed to victory both with the striking and the grappling, and I like him to get it done here. I do believe it's going to be Rafael Estevam by submission or decision. Then we have Austin Bashi, and this is a fight that actually flew entirely under the radar for me. It wasn't until I was following Austin Bashi's social media, and I saw him saying it's fight week, and I was like, what the hell? Because I didn't see him matched up with anyone here, and he's stepping in on against short notice John Yannis here. And honestly, guys, I didn't go and watch this guy's fights. I'm not going to lie to you and say that I went out there and watched tape on John Yannis and all the rest of it. But the level of competition that this guy's been fighting here, I don't think he's going to hold a candle up to Austin Bashi. Austin Bashi was the first Slam of the Week of the year, and he was the first losing Slam of the Week of the year. I put 5 whole units for Austin Bashi to go out there and defeat Christian Rodriguez. It was my first week as a We Want Picks premium member providing bets for the community, and I took a big nosedive loss there. That being said, I look at fights objectively, one fight to the next. I do think Bashi is probably going to smoke this dude. This is not Christian Rodriguez. This is not somebody coming up here that's going to be the next big thing. John Yannis, he has been openly saying that he struggled with his takedown defense in the past year. I think Bashi wraps him up and submits him. And once props drop on that, you'll probably see me playing in Bashi inside the distance bet here, because I think this is a fight that's just going to show levels here. And I do believe that Bashi is still one of the members that's going to be the future of this division. So Bashi's the pick, and Bashi will probably be the bet. We'll see how we go. Then we've got Nick Klein taking on Andrey Pulyaev here. And this is a matchup again where I was looking for my underdog opportunities, and I was thinking about targeting Nick Klein. You go in, you watch the tape, you come out to realization that Andrey Pulyaev should probably be a bigger favorite here. He seems like he should be able to stop most of Nick Klein's takedowns. And the reason why I say takedowns and not just grappling is because Nick Klein might just climb on this dude's back. He is very opportunistic. He's always looking for a finish. His striking, it's serviceable, but it's not very good. It's not very technical. You don't look at him and see high-level Muay Thai or anything like that. Nick Klein, he's a big guy. He's got a lot of heart, and he's fun. I don't know that he's going to get any wins inside of the UFC. And Andrey Pulyaev as well. I also don't think that he's incredible, but he is long, he is large, and I do believe that he's going to be able to keep this in his striking realm and win this fight by knockout. So Andrey Pulyaev by knockout is going to be the official prediction for this matchup. Moving on to the next, we have Rodolfo Viera taking on Treasan Gore. This is a matchup that initially I was thinking about picking Rodolfo Viera. I went in and watched the tape here, and if he doesn't get the takedowns here against Treasan Gore, I think that this is going to look like a young versus old bull matchup here, in which case I'd have to take Treasan Gore. He showed a lot of heart in his matchup against Marco Tulio. I know he got the shit beat out of him, and that's never good, but to see that he's willing to go out on his shield and really just fight for your viewership and fight to win. I think that here against Rodolfo Viera, he's going to have the athleticism advantage here. And if Rodolfo Viera cannot take him down and submit him, then I think Treasan Gore is very live as an underdog upset here. So I'm going to take Treasan Gore to win this fight by knockout. However, I do think that the play here is probably going to be fight not to go the distance, because like I say, I do think that if Rodolfo Viera can get his grappling going, there's a submission live. Treasan Gore also has a nasty guillotine on himself there. He's got a couple of UFC wins there via guillotine. And, we just have seen Treasan Gore muscle people with that guillotine. And even though Rodolfo Viera, very high-level black belt, all the rest of it, if Treasan Gore wraps up his neck, man, he might just take it home with him. So Treasan Gore is going to be the pick. Then we have Rinya Nakamura taking on Nathan Fletcher. Ultimately, guys, I'm not going to bore you with the details here, but Rinya Nakamura should smoke Nathan Fletcher, should be able to take him down over and over again. If you watch Nathan Fletcher's last fight against Karol in there, you will see that he struggled with the takedowns in that matchup. Rinya Nakamura is a better wrestler than Karol. Is he a better MMA fighter? We'll find out. But as far as pure wrestling goes, he should be able to get takedowns, should be able to rack up control time. The only way Nathan Fletcher is going to win this fight is if he can hurt Rinya Nakamura before Rinya gets takedowns. However, after how disappointing Rinya's last performance was and how he spent too long and extended periods on the feet, I imagine we're going to see him chain wrestle early and often. So I'm going to take Rinya Nakamura most likely by decision, but there's definitely going to be a sprinkle bet by submission, because that's sitting at plus 700 odds here. It's too juicy for how big of a favorite Rinya Nakamura is, and with the grappling game plan that I believe he'll be utilizing here. Rinya Nakamura by submission to feed families. Then opening up the main card, and guys, this is one that I'm absolutely fucking pumped for. And let me know in the comments if you're pumped for this fight or not. Regardless of which side you're on here. Kevin Vallejos coming in here, 15-1 prospect. Danny Silva, hot prospect as well. Many wins in the UFC already, 10-1 record. Kevin Vallejos, most notably known for his fight against Jean Silva on the Dana White's Contender Series. Kevin Vallejos, only 23 years old, 15-1 record. The dude loves a knockout. He's also got some submissions to match it as well. He's very short for this. Got that Ilia Topuria featherweight build here. And against Danny Silva here, I think he's just going to be too much, man. This tiny little dynamite from Argentina, I think, is going to find the chin of many an individual. He punches and bunches. He definitely does remind me of a little Argentinian Ilia Topuria. So Kevin Vallejos here, probably round one knockout. If not, then inside the distance. I'm going to ride this dude till the cows come home. I think that he is the shit, man. And I think that Kevin Vallejos is probably the most deserving favorite on this card. So give me Vallejos to win this fight by knockout. Let's go. Argentina, stand up. You got a boy in the UFC that's going to do you very well. Then we have Elizeu Zaleski dos Santos taking on Neil Magny. Battle of the Unks, as the cool kids might say. Neil Magny, boasting a 6'3" frame here, 80-inch reach, nothing that he's not used to seeing. He's very long, he's very, very big, and Elizeu Zaleski dos Santos, coming off of a very disappointing performance against Chidi and Njokuani. However, in this matchup here, I don't think Neil Magny offers the same threat as a Chidi and Njokuani on the feet. It's not a world-level Muay Thai kickboxer that's coming at him with dangerous shots and, he's big and all the rest of it. I think Zaleski dos Santos here is actually going to bounce back, and I think he's going to bounce back by knocking out Neil Magny. A lot of people, I'm hearing rumblings, talking about how Neil Magny's been matched up with killers, all the rest of it. He's still that guy. He should be able to beat this Unkin, Zaleski dos Santos, who won't be able to get in onside the distance. I actually think the opposite. I think that Neil Magny's going to try and close the distance here to get to the clinch, and he's just going to get knocked out. And it could just be a TKO situation, but I think Elizeu Zaleski dos Santos is going to hit him with something rough and then just follow up and get him out of there. So give me Elizeu Zaleski dos Santos. God, that's a mouthful. It's a goddamn mouthful. Make the name shorter. By knockout. Let's go. Then we have Karol Rosa taking on Nora Cornolle. Guys, this is my official underdog opportunity. I'm rolling with Nora Cornolle, and I wasn't trying to make it rhyme, but it almost did. Against Karol Rosa here, I think that Nora Cornolle is kind of like a mini Bruno Ferreira. She's that little muscle mommy build on her. She's going to come out here. She's tough. She's aggressive. She's looking to hurt you. She's looking to actually land damage here, which is rare in some of these women's divisions. But Nora Cornolle's a bit of a savage here. And I think Karol Rosa likes to play the volume game, likes to pressure on people. And I think Nora Cornolle's going to make it dirty, make it ugly, get in her face, hit her with hard shots, and make Karol Rosa question whether or not, she wants to really dig deep and fight for this win. And so I'm going to take Nora Cornolle here. Potential even a finish here, which is paying great plus money on the Nora Cornolle. I think it was plus 600 or something like that. But even the money line here, I think, has got the juice for it. So Nora Cornolle to win this fight, probably by decision, but, she is always hunting for a finish, so that's on the table as well if you wanted to be a risky business buyer there. Then we have Elves Brener taking on Estevam Ribovic. Listen, guys, Estevam Ribovic, the second Argentinian on this card, and also an absolute banger. This dude has a chin made of gold here, and he comes out. He's always looking to bang, always in fun fights, and he turns it up in the third round. And you know what? So does Elves Brener. This is going to be a battle of two guys that are going to come forward. They're going to swing leather for our enjoyment. The only difference, in my opinion, is that I think that Esteban is actually better at building combinations, and I think that he's more willing to take one to give one. So I'm going to take Esteban Ribovic here. He's a slight favorite, and I expect him to go out here and finish Elves Brener in the second or third round, win this fight by knockout. Then we have Mateusz Rebecki, and I think it's Rombecki, but I always say Rebecki because that's how it reads. So apologies if anyone's Polish and I'm fucking that up because, Mateusz Rebecki is how it reads to me, but it is what it is. He's taking on Chris Duncan. Guys, this is Slam of the Week. Slam of the Week is Kevin Vallejos plus Rebecki, and I think that Rebecki just hits like a fucking truck, and he's going to come out here and just decimate Chris Duncan. I really do. I after watching the tape and you see what Charlie Campbell did and all the rest of it, I think Rebecki's going to walk forward, be a Terminator, crack Duncan. If Duncan tries to jump guillotine, he's going to end up underneath Mateusz Rebecki, and then it's going to just be all downhill. This guy's like a fucking sledgehammer. I expect him to finish up Chris Duncan in under a round and a half. Mateusz Rebecki by pure violence. Then we have in the main event, Tatsuro Taira taking on the newcomer now in this main event, Hong-Sung Park here. Hong-Sung Park coming in undefeated. Tatsuro Taira, a previously undefeated fighter before his last matchup here against Brandon Raw Dog Royval. That was a bit of a learning curve for him. He's too young, a little bit inexperienced, a little bit one-dimensional. Goes out there, split decision loss to Brandon Royval. I wanted him to win that fight. I had money on him to win that fight. He kind of let me down a little bit, but I should have foreseen it coming. Unfortunately, though, for Hong-Sung Park, I don't think he offers the same well-roundedness of a Brandon Royval and 5-round experience that he's going to be able to turn it up on Taira that way. However, I do really like Hong-Sung Park, and I really want you to know that I do like Hong-Sung Park, despite that I'm going to pick against him here in Tatsuro Taira. If this was Hong-Sung Park, heading against most of the flyweight division, I would love Park, especially as an underdog, but Tatsuro Taira's grappling, I do believe, is going to be too much here. It is next level, and I think that alone is going to be enough to give Hong-Sung Park problems here. Give me Tatsuro Taira to win this fight by submission. Guys, that is the breakdown. Thank you all for watching, and I really do believe that we're going to cash some absolute checks this week. If you want to unlock all my bets, round line lanes, and more, we've got hella props. I got hella units on the board here down at We Want Picks Premium. The link is in the description. Sign up to wewantpicks.com/betsam. Code betsam for 10% off. Let's make some fucking money this weekend. Thank you all for watching. I love doing this shit.